Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the LIT Radio, LIT Music. We got an exclusive here. Man, I've known this guy for quite some time, and we've worked on several tracks together. He's a very, very talented young man. Say what up to the people, Mr. Zeeq the ZYC.
Yo, what's up, everyone? I'm Zeeq the ZYC. That's ZEEQ THEZYC. You could also say it like DZYC, but it's Zeeq the ZYC, just as it's spelled out. And thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you doing, per usual, and collaborating on all the music and all the shows. We could go for days on the stories,
Word.
But I'll let you take the floor on that.
Word. So, for someone that doesn't, that's not familiar or whatever, like, how'd you get started in music?
Okay, so it's early. It's really early. Like, I always had like a fondness to it, so to say. I wanted to do it because I saw it, and after a while, you have rhythm and you can dance, and you just remember dancing at parties and getting older and listening to music and just buying that tape or getting a CD for Christmas, like stuff like that was always stuff that really made me happy. And as a result of that, I always wanted to play musical instruments and, hear sounds and just make instruments out of things that weren't instruments per se. That's how I really look at it, because music was involved. I can't say I've gone a day without music since I've been born, honestly, because there are people that don't like music. I also have to consider that.
Yeah, that's wild. I gotta listen to something. I gotta hear some kind of rhythm or something. Or I'm gonna just make something myself. I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
So as far as rapping goes, when did you start rapping?
Okay, so this is a great story. So I was never a public speaker. Like, I was never really like the kind of person who could like speak in front of everybody, but I could speak to everybody, like, if that makes sense. And like, a lot of the time I was enticed by those people who could actually speak in front of a camera or a microphone and, enunciate their words or, convey their message and who they are as a person, personality wise. And, like, I grew to like that. I grew to adore it. And then eventually, after a while, apply it, just in my own way, in my own style of doing things. And I think that's what made me start. The fact that I had an opportunity to be my own original in my own way of doing things could now be conveyed in this way, music. And, now it's understood and it's on play. You can press play on how I felt like 5 years ago and 7 years ago. That was always what mattered to me more than anything. Music was this timeless capsule that stays buried and you can dig it up, whatever. And, that's the best part about it. And I like that. I like that aspect of it. I like the fact that I can continue to enhance on that and it doesn't take away from anything I'm doing. Like, I'm just growing with it.
Indeed. Now, it's crazy because, like, you've evolved so much from Free Time was your first tape, right?
Yeah, technically speaking. It wasn't the first time I recorded, mind you, but it was the first time I took initiative and made a tape.
Right. Yeah, so, man, the growth's been crazy. If you're not familiar, man, pretty much everything's on your Bandcamp for the most part.
Yeah, now I feel like it's centralized there through Bandcamp, but you'll probably find me. You just do the Google search or like Zeeq, Genre. Just type that in genre. The genre is like as if it's my own genre, Zeeq, just like that, and then it should just pop up in Google. If not, YouTube, Zeeq the ZYC. I have a lot of music videos on there, like a bunch of content that's like continuously, yearly, annually, like being loaded up on there. And you can find me obviously, like, the Apple Musics, the, Instagram. You could look me up on Instagram if you have the music widget there. Click there, type in Zeeq, and then type in one of the song names. But you can type in Zeeq and just go from there and figure it out. ZEEQ. Outside of that, like, yeah, like you can find me pretty much probably in one of your little TV shows, one of your little, like, I might be in the background of like Good Morning America. I don't know. I'm around here. So eventually, one way or another, I plan so everybody will see. Right.
Word. So, if someone wanted to know, basically, how would you describe your music? Like, if someone's trying to, like, let's say, like, you get a new fan or something like that, how would you describe your sound or, like, who you are, like, what you stand for musically?
Evolving rebel. Like, you know, like, for instance, like, this is a great analogy, too. You ever see the movie Logan?
Logan, the X-Men joint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, like, the last film of him?
I'm not sure about the last one. But
it's like the final film. The final film from him is like supposed to be like the final in his franchise. So yeah, it's like he evolved like so much, and you see it over time. You see it now visible on him because he's now become like this obvious human. You know, this obvious human. His human side is beginning to take over, regardless how mutant he is. And at the end of the day, it's like he can't really even fight that now. Like, you know, he has to embrace it, and like, you know, it's for the better good, because now here's this next generation of people over here who don't have to really go through it in that particular fashion. You know, so I feel like that's what my music is. I'm probably listening to a lot of songs that I like for myself right now. I'm also probably listening to a lot of songs I consider cringeworthy. And that's what I consider evolving, because there's always some kind of work to be done, and I always know there's a different sound, no matter what beat. Like I'm not trying to really go for hip hop all the time. I know for a fact I'm going to make a song. I want to make a song, and if it's hip hop, cool. If it's not, then that's also cool, because you know, at the end of the day, I got like a bunch of different vibes and vibrations I'm dealing with on a daily, and I just know what I want to hear. I can't speak on behalf of everyone else, but I would like to say, like, also as a DJ, no pun intended, you know, I get around the circuit here and there, and you know, I could say, for instance, I could observe what people like to hear, and a lot of the time, you know, it's maybe the opposite of what I like. It may be the spot on, but you know, at the end of the day, I know for sure it's evolving. I've seen things change in music over the course of a few years, like, you know, and I get excited. I'm still excited. That's what I know about it. That's how I know this does not fade away from me. Like, I know for a fact I could still, at the end of the day, get excited about this and go about it in a way that's going to really shape my vision and go in a direction that's actually focused. I feel like I know where I'm going now. As we're at the beginning, the free time era, if you will, I was like getting my feet wet, and I couldn't really see the the underlying landscape from the you know, the liquid pond, if you will, you know.
Word. So now this is ZZleeping. Am I saying that right? Sleeping Giant.
Yeah, sleeping. It's like I wanted people to pronounce it like that. Sleeping instead of sleeping, because it's like, you know, it's like obviously you play on how the snoring looks, the sound effect of the snore, like ZZZ, but like yeah, just Sleeping Giant. Sleeping Giant Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and that's what I call it. And it's obviously a play on the term Sleeping Giant, of like what it's about and what people are doing and what they got going on. Like, it's like at the end of the day, I feel like I'm unrecognized on a platform that people would deem appropriate or clout. But like I am very respected amongst my peers and my friends and family, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
People know me, like, you know, people know me personally, and like that's different compared to like being recognized on a reputation standpoint. Like, you know, I could meet a stranger tomorrow that, you know, they say this all the time, that has better intentions for me than someone I've known for years, and that's true. However, I live off like loyalty, and I live off of you know, just not swaying and switching my moral codes, you know, for anything for that matter. There's a lot of things I'm not gonna be moved on, and I'm proud of that. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
All right, like, because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, music is one of those things that I can't be compromised for. I look at it like it's one of those things. it's a part of me, and I do it because it's a part of me. I don't do it because it's a part of my persona. Like, you know, it's a part of like what's going to be the next hot thing. You know, like, and this is not comparatively speaking. This is like an observance of myself, because there was a point where I thought I was that way, and I thought that I carried myself in that manner. And in reality, it was just I was, like I said, I was getting my feet wet, and I was trying to find my legs and what was going on.
Right. So now the tadpole has, fully matured and everything like that. And now you're dropping, this is the third part of the trilogy. What should people expect on this next project you're about to drop?
More musical. Yeah, more musical. Also, a feature, from some producers that I thought were dope and still are dope. Like a dream production, like I got from a friend, shouts to him. Yeah, you'll see him on there. Like, it's a song called Sleep Paralysis, so you can check that out. Like, I've been waiting for him to produce something for me since like I heard a song from him like way back when. And it's just funny, like, it comes together full circle. And that's why I think that's hilarious. That's interesting. It really is interesting. That's a lot of stuff that lately has been happening, and like you see so many synchronizations and numerological signs and symbols and shit, and people like to make fun of it sometimes. But like, in reality, a lot of that stuff does come from a lot, and it goes to show you like how people are and what they really do, like, and what it means in the world, and what our purpose is here of all. So I'm looking at it that way right now. Everything I'm doing right now is having me unlearn a lot of the BS we were taught coming up and growing up, and now we're learning new things that are more healthy and going to be befitting for us going forward.
Word. Yeah, I mean, the first two projects was fire. I'm still getting people saying they rock with the joint that we did. You know what I'm saying? The alarm clocks.
I peeped that, yo. And people to this day, like, the same stuff that you would tell me before, like, as far as like having like a bit of a nostalgic touch, but it's modern. Yeah, like, people are saying stuff like that to me, and like I sometimes I kind of put it in the back of my mind, and I'm just like, note it, and it's just like cool. But like, I just want to create something like the next best thing, and I just know that's also a fleeting task. However, like, this next project, like I said, a lot of this is incorporated in that, but just expect more music, more of a musical aspect. I'm singing more singing. I work on my voice. Someone said, yo, I'm going to say this in camera. Someone fucking said I can't sing. And I just want to point it out. Whoever the fuck you are out there, you know who you are.
You know you are.
You said I can't sing. It's all good. No worries. I got you, B. I got you. I've taken that constructive criticism and I'm running with it. And yo, more importantly, I'm just learning to address all the good stuff that everybody wants to hear about, all the stuff I've been speaking about, like from the first few tapes. I just bring it all together as if it's like a story. Like you said, the trilogy itself, it is the trilogy. There's no fourth, there's no fifth after this.
Word.
And
it's like the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So I'm going, but it's a trilogy.
Word. Man, this is crazy. There's so many stories you gotta just rough moves to the studio.
Yeah. Can't even begin to explain all those stories. All the things you do to go to the studio.
Word.
That should be like a segment.
What would you say your craziest studio story is? Like, the most hoops and hurdles you had to go through just to record a verse.
Wow. Okay. So, let me see. Damn, yo, that's crazy. All right. So, I would say I had like one situation in Harlem. Like, I was living in Harlem at the time, and I knew jack shit about studio time. Like, I didn't know nothing about it. Like, I didn't know a damn thing. Like, just knew I wanted to record. Just knew I like music, So I went on this whole entire, like, in addition to doing my schoolwork, tirade of just like figuring out where are the closest studios near me and calling them like any day I could, really, for the most part. I forgot which one it was, but it's like this studio like off of 125th and Park Avenue over there. And like I went over there, and so many people recorded there, and like so many albums, classic albums were recorded there, and they just let me go in there and got to consult them and whatnot. And I just remember that day, right? I walked outside, and it looked kind of gloomy outside, but for some reason in my mind I didn't register it's raining outside and shit. But it was raining, and you know, walking in Harlem, drenched. As soon as you walk outside, everybody's got umbrellas and shit drenched. But I still had to go, and I still had to get there, and I had to go to class right after. So I'm going over there, walking that way and whatnot. Accident happens. Police pull up over there, like over near like Frederick Douglass or whatever, and it becomes like this whole scene, yada yada yada. Finally get there, get to the studio, walk inside, see everything I was doing, and you know, ended up not even recording it. Like you know, just like in general, like just went through that whole process of emotions of the day of just consulting and seeing what I would like about the place. Like you know, it just goes to show the dedication,
Right.
you know, and more than anything, like at the time, like I wouldn't have motherfucking been able to afford that shit. Like more important, I was like a college student and fucking like you know just living off of pennies, like you know what I mean. So there's no way in hell like I was gonna be able to record there anyway. But you know, it goes to show like the dedication and how far a nigga will go to record studio. But you know, before that, like nobody was letting me record other than my brother, like you know, and you know his friends or whatever. Like that was pretty much it. And then like we go to stories of them on days like that's when I and your brother at that, can't forget him. That's another one too. Like you know, and so many sessions, man. Like from the makeshift quality studios to the surround sound studios in Midtown Manhattan or wherever, North Carolina. You know,
Word.
I got like a lot of stuff that I want to create, and I want to make sure the space I'm doing it in always has some kind of reflection of the healthy lifestyle I want to achieve or sustain.
Right. And actually, that makes me think. So when you go to it, because first of all, you can't record in everybody's studio.
Of course not.
You know, you got to fill it out. You got to feel the ambiance. You have to have the connection with the engineer. There's so many things that people don't realize when it comes to like really, you know, laying out a track. Mm-hmm. What are certain things that you're looking for when you go to a studio, like a new studio? Like, what will stand out for you before you make that decision to actually, you know, want to record there?
Communication, like a great amount of communication, a clear communication. Just musicality. Like, there's nothing more nerve-wracking than like seeing an engineer that has like no sense of music or care for music at all. Like, they just good at their craft. And that could be good sometimes too. It can make them really great at, you know, mixing. It can make them really great at mastering. Maybe that's why they're that way. But I've noticed there are a select few people who would just be, you know, whatever. Like, you know, they just freaking in limbo and they just do this because they want to get paid or whatever. And you hear it in the music, you hear it in the quality, but there's no musicality behind anything they're doing. It's all technical. You know, that's really all.
So,
yeah, you know, exactly. You know, that's what I'm looking for. Like, and the quality is behind that too. Like, there's a lot of quality shit. There's a lot of quality. I want quality. And at the end of the day, those engineers who are musical, or maybe they play more instruments. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the fact that they're open to playing more instruments and being able to actually write songs with you, or just, you know, a lot of my songs I've never had to write with anybody. Like, just to be clear, like just on camera, like I've never had to write with anybody, like for any of my songs. Everything has been probably 100% written by me, if not 99.99% written by me. A lot of the songs, other than everyone who's collabed with me have written their own verse, mostly. Everyone that's collabed with me have written their own verse, always. But the production aspect of everything, like, you know, people like styles, people like sounds and inflections and whatnot, you know, so that's how it goes. And I'm thinking there's nothing new right now. That there's probably everything you want to hear out here right now. And God willing, that's me very soon.
All right, so 2 more questions before we wrap up. I need to know a story about your best studio session and then your worst studio session.
Oh, okay. Let's do the worst first. All right, so worst studio session I've ever been in. Yeah, just any session I've ever pulled up to and people were just drugged out of their mind and they couldn't get anything done. I think we categorize them under one umbrella, or just like drugged off themselves and they couldn't get anything done. Like you know,
like the engineer's high is like
yeah.
You
know, anything that was like that, I'm good on that, and I don't want to feel that way no more, because it's like wasting valuable, precious time.
Big facts.
To make, you know, and you know, a lot of the times these people don't get that. These are people that be in the studio. They influence the vibes, they influence the music, they influence what's going on in there. You know, so I just keep stuff like that in consideration. On another note, as far as like a specific situation, any situation where like the mix wasn't right, I couldn't record in there. But it's rare, you know. I can say so far I've been to a lot of studios where they've been great. Like every studio I've been to so far has been really great. But you know, we all have our preferences. You know, long story. So at the end of the day, forget what my personal experience. I know there are studios out here that would do, you know, just do like horrible mixes or horrible mastering, horrible recording, or they just don't know how to record singers. You know, like we know how to record rappers and whatnot. So I was dealing with a lot of that because I was trying to do the singing and rapping at first. And then once I found an engineer who could record both and produce both, you know, that was when I was like, all right, now I can make a tape. And that there goes back to the diligence and the comfortability behind me finding somewhere I could be trustworthy, you know, with somebody who's going to record me and mix my music and make me sound the way I want to sound, and we can communicate about that. We don't have to play possum with the situation, you know. So that's where I look for in a lot of studios. I also want to point that out again. The best studio session I've ever been in was any one of those studio sessions that I made history in. Any one of the studio sessions that I ever made history in. That's my favorite studio session, because that's what matters. Any studio session I've been in where the song is gonna be here longer than I'm gonna be here. Yeah.
That is a great answer. You're media trained already.
You want to call it that?
Yeah. You know, actually thinking about that. I'm not sure if it was a session, but I know there was one project that you know what? I'll say that for off the air. Anyway.
I'm ready. Any other time I have another podcast, any other time you can have another chat, like let me know, man. I'm here to chime in wherever I may be, you know.
Word. So, Sleeping Giant, October 28th.
Yes. Also my birthday. I just want to point that out. It's my 27th birthday.
Word.
My birthdays are just another day for me, so it's my way of making it something for once. Like, you know, I've never really had like much birthday festivities. I've always just kind of had my birthday. So this is my way of celebrating now. And it's 27 years old. It's a staple. It's a chapter in my life. I wanted to acknowledge it with an album of musical components.
So if people want to find you, where can they find you at and send their news or whatever?
All right, cool. Send all news to Twitter. Zeeq the ZYC. It gets rowdy on there. We know it. That's ZEEQTHEZYC. That's on every platform. That's on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, freaking Google, Bing, whichever search drive you're on. All right, whichever SEO you're on. Yeah. Zeeq the ZYC. Zeeq, Look me up on YouTube, ZEEQ ZYC, Zeeq the ZYC. And you're going to hear more of me, and you should see more of me, especially on this show, because I know Dwayne, and we can link up, we can chat anytime. However, he has more important people you should be talking to. So don't get it twisted, y'all. Don't get it twisted.
Hey, yo, thanks for your time. Be sure to check it out, October 28th.
Peace, peace.